And so then I'd move on to the second step, which is understand, which is where I will go to a translator called DeepL, and I'll translate every single word individually and then the whole sentence holistically. And the reason why I did that was to understand the logic of Spanish. It was to understand that different words and sentences in Spanish will mean different things in different contexts. And so if you just translate the entire phrase, you'll lose a lot of that meaning and logic. Okay, you'll find that the word for word translation and the full translation, the translation of the meaning, there will usually be a discrepancy between those two. And so to understand that gap, I try to understand the why, the logic through translating word for word and then also the entire sentence. And then to understand the verbs and the sort of reoccurring patterns, I would search up every single verb conjugation for every verb I found using a Spanish dict, where all you do is you put in a verb and it'll show you all the conjugations. And there, specifically for irregular verbs, I can find the irregularities and find the patterns, okay? And this is in the same lane as like, if you ever in school, you studied hydrocarbons, like propane, propene, and propyne, you can see that the ending of ein, een, and ein will apply for other hydrocarbons. So we had ethane, ethene, and ethine, for example. And so you can see in the same way in Spanish, the endings will have reoccurring patterns because you'll study them in proportion to how often you'll hear them, right? You'll find that a lot of natives will use verbs like ser and estar and haber and ir all of the time. And so searching up their conjugations and getting familiar with their forms is much more important than something like, to sew, right? And so that's why I do that for every single verb I encounter. And by the way, if you're just getting started, I highly recommend joining the Speedy Spanish Hub. It's a free community I created with a bunch of free resources and guides to help you start learning Spanish with these methods. And it'll be the first link in the description.